Okay, finally. Okay. This is welcome. First of all, this is an interesting video. About essentially Instagram influencing it in general and the future of it. And this woman called Brian Kimmel, she came up with an interesting point about influencers in the future. And whether it's going to die, what's going to happen to it. Essentially, she believes that it's going to die. We're going to see the end of it. She says. So I made a Twitter moment because it wouldn't let me record the screen. So I made a Twitter moment, and we're going to go through it. And I think I've made a few very interesting points. Backed it up with evidence. I think it's a strong argument in general, to be honest with you. So first tweet. I'm calling it now. We'll see the end of influencer marketing this year. Brands are tired of working with influencers. Consumers are tired of seeing fake posts. Influencers are tired of being influencers, and the current model is broken. Here's why. So essentially, what she's saying is, what we've spoken about already. She believes influencing is going to die for many, inconveniences, I guess. Now, first of all, brands pay more than 10 times what they would pay to reach the same number of people in a traditional or digital media buy. And again, backs up with evidence. I've read that and it's legitimate. It's for us. The reason why I'm making this video, for dropshippers and online entrepreneurs in general who sell things using influencers, it is probably a good thing that brands, as she says, and big companies such as large Kylie Cosmetics, for example. I used that yesterday. I'm not addicted to it, but yeah, Kylie Cosmetics. There's loads of fashion. Fashion Nova, for example, is a good one. These brands got a lot of marketing capital behind them. They'll just throw money at whatever. And what she's saying is basically that's going to stop happening for many reasons. Brands pay more than 10 times what they're paid to reach the same number of people in traditional. So essentially, brands pay a lot of money, per interaction. I know a lot of it is $1.50 per 1,000 interactions or something like that. I can't really remember what the traditional is for big brands, but yeah, sorry, yeah. So, engagements and stuff like that is not quite efficient. It's good. It's very, very good to be able to find a niche audience for your product or whatever. But, just the capital in return just isn't quite as good as essentially what it is in the future. What it could be in the future. Third point. 46% of marketers believe influencer marketing should be part of their marketing plan. However, only 90% have budget for it. This is a bit of a weird one, but if you look into it, it does make sense. 46% of marketers believe influencer marketing should be part of their marketing plan. It's essentially, 46 to 54. It's not really that much difference. But according to that, less people believe, less marketers believe that influencer marketing should be part of their marketing plan. I think that statistic alone is actually very interesting for big brands. So, going back to the interaction thing and the engagement and stuff like that, $1.50 per engagement is interesting. It's interesting. It's completely, $1.50 per 1,000 engagements. Sorry, it's completely different to what it used to be. There's been a huge revolution in marketing in general in the form of digital marketing, and this is just part of it. And 46, yeah. Only 90% have budget for it. This is really, really interesting. Essentially what that's saying is companies that are using influencers can't really afford it, which is very interesting. And so essentially what that means is the money that is going into influencers nowadays from big brands isn't, it's not long term. It's pretty much short term money, and although it's building brand, it's not necessarily building it long term. It's very forgetful. In many cases, the pressure to launch an influencer campaign often means the campaigns have loose metrics. Influencer matching continues to be a huge challenge for marketers. No tool has been able to solve the matching problem. Yeah, that's true. That is true for big brands. I think there does need to be something, especially with Instagram, to be able to categorize each account. As much as it is like, it's kind of easy to do it yourself, it's very hard to find the niche of the niche, which is where we should be at this point in marketing. So I think she's got a very good point on that. The pressure to launch an influencer campaign often means that the campaigns have loose metrics. But again, going back to us as dropshippers or online sellers in general, if this is true, this is actually a very good thing for us. If you think about it, $1.50 per 1,000 interactions or engagements, whatever. It's actually it's not high because we don't really have anything to compare it to. So it will just decrease if big brands such as Fashion Nova or whatever, they decide to leave the space. It's going to decrease the price for us. It is a very, very, very good thing. And this whole new thing of Facebook, Instagram ads, they're all going to be taken over by big brands in the future. Big companies are going to invest loads of money, and all the small guys will be gone. I don't believe in that, and I think I'm leaning towards Brian Kimmel's or Brian. I don't know how to say his forename, but I'm leaning towards this more than that might just be my optimism, but whatever. And 9 out of 10 influencers say they must already like a brand to accept its sponsorship. And that brand affinity matters more than money. Big problem, brand affinity doesn't pay the bill. It's true, yeah. I can't remember who it was that made the point. It might have been Sebastian Georgiou, but a lot of influencers, they started going towards niche influencers like fan pages or whatever. That's what I'm leaning towards, because obviously this is a dropshipping channel. A lot of that it was based on a passion. The person was like, yeah, I've got a passion for Labradors, whatever. I'll start an Instagram page, and it's obviously it grew, and now they can make money from it. And this is an interesting point. 9 out of 10 influencers say they must like a brand to accept its sponsorship. That just seems unrealistic, to be honest with you. Let me know what you think about that one, because that one's really interesting. I think what I thought initially before reading this, you can start off with a passion. You can pretend that you care about who it is that you're sponsoring. But at the end of the day, if you've got an opportunity to make money, you're gonna make money. It's just not like it's a pretty simple. It's a pretty simple business method. Brand affinity matters more than money. I think, I suppose in terms of an influencer, you just got to be careful with who you let advertising you. And so yeah, it's you got to be careful. You can't let it damage your brand. So I guess it makes sense. 6. Yeah, 71% of influencers' income is almost exclusively from sponsored content versus more traditional ad streams like display ads, affiliate links, and e-commerce. If you want to make money, you have to partner with big brands. Yeah, okay, well, there is a lot more money to be made with big brands, obviously, as we've seen with large influencers. And but again, streams like display ads, affiliate links, and e-commerce, which is what we are, essentially. Speaking of affiliate links, I do have a 14-day free trial for Shopify in the description, so if you press that, you get a 14-day free trial with Shopify, so, no credit card or anything like that. Just 14-day free trial. just off topic, but there you go. I'm going to be making a video about that soon. But yeah, it's, there is a lot more money to be made if you partner with big brands rather than, someone like a small e-commerce business, a bit like what we do. So yeah, I mean, again, it is very good for us. It is very good for us. Influencers are never going to go in the next, decade or whatever. They're not going to go because there's too much money to be made in it. It's not been saturated enough yet, I suppose. So yeah, we'll talk about that in the future maybe. But 7, bad matching equals more brand control equals fake posts. 80% of influencers say that deterred to work with brands that control their content too much. Influencers want to create their own brand, not mirror someone else's brand. Again, this goes back to protecting your brand. You don't want someone else to dictate what goes on your page, and I know that is what is happening a lot at the moment, and it's just another inconvenience adding towards this to Brian's point here, and yeah. So essentially, you've just got to protect your brand. You've got to protect your theme page. You've got to protect your theme page. You've got if you're this, if you're that, you've got to make sure that nothing's damaging your brand, and you've still got long-term future in it. Yeah. 8. Fake post equals low engagement from consumers. What is an above average engagement rate for an influencer post? 4%. So what do consumers really want? Yeah, I thought it was lower than 4%, to be honest with you. I thought it'd be like 3%, 2-3. But yeah. Again, this is a bit of a tip for anyone that's watching that wants to become, do influencer marketing. Then you've got to make sure that the engagement rate is around 4%. 3 or 4%, I think, is a good rate. Otherwise, you're just gonna get you're gonna struggle. You're not gonna make money, and it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big problem. But yeah. Okay. On to 9. We're getting towards the end now. Again, linking to Forbes. Consumers are almost twice as likely to consider a product recommended from a friend rather than an influencer. Interesting. 61% of people say that they're likely to research products or service recommended on a social by a friend versus only 36% of influencers. Yeah, I don't know about that. It might be a fact. I don't know about that. I think, to be honest, a lot of people nowadays stupid's a bit strong, but you know what I mean. They want things that are easy, and if something's on an Instagram story and they're like, oh yeah, I like that, they're willing to buy it. It can recommend it to a friend, and you can say that about anything. I'd prefer to be recommended by a friend who's reliable and knows what to talk about rather than an advertisement. It's just the way it works, though. It's so much easier to see an advert than be recommended things by a friend or whatever. And yeah, which is why it's important to build a brand rather than a temporary dropshipping store, which is again another video that I've got waiting for the future. I'm going to be working on a lot of videos. I plan on uploading more than once a day. It's been once a day because I've got a lot of things going on with it. But yeah, but only 36. Yeah, this is, again, it's a very good argument what's been put forward here. 36% for influencers is crazy to actually think if that's true. But she closes it out. If you're thinking about the future influencers, yeah, okay. I can't even speak. In terms of my opinion, I think to an extent this could be true. I think all the main statistics go towards other things other than influencing, like Facebook ads in general. That's going to be, I think, to be honest, that will probably be completely saturated by big businesses in the next 2 or 3 years, which is why it's a good idea to get onto it now. But yeah, there's a lot to think about in this thread. I'm going to link it in the description if you want to read it. But yeah, it's a very good. I do definitely recommend it. There's a lot going on in this. And yeah, DM Brianna. I'm going to link her Twitter in the description too. And yeah, I appreciate you watching the video. I've got my 14-day free trial in the description if you want that for Shopify, if you're thinking about it. More videos coming in the future. Appreciate you watching.